Yo, what's up, guys? This is Austin Summers. I'm here in Stockholm, Sweden today to slap you in the face with a tough talk to describe the almost dark reality of the game for men in the dating world and why you need to overinvest in yourself, get rid of your bullshit excuses so you actually get success, as opposed to just almost dark reality of the game for men in the dating world and why you need to overinvest in yourself, get rid of your bullshit excuses so you actually get success, as opposed to just half-assing your way to nowhere. So let's break down some of these things that are holding you back from taking the action that you need to be taking. First one is fear. Fear of what people think of you. Fear. Rejection, and let me give you some facts about this fear. Number one, it doesn't respond to reason. You can't reason or think your way through or around the fear. And number two, it only responds to fear. Number one, it doesn't respond to reason. You can't reason or think your way through or around the fear. And number two, it only responds to the action you take. Because your brain wants proof, not promises, you need to act your way through or around the fear. And number two, it only responds to the action you take. Because your brain wants proof, not promises, you need to actually take that action to show your brain that it's okay. You won't die. And you don't have to take a giant leap to people of the same interests. Girl that you see, it can literally just be you go outside your house and you start talking to strangers. You talk to shopkeepers, you talk to people of the same interests. Basically, just by getting out of the house, talking to strangers, it shows your brain that it's okay to talk to strangers, and then you can start talking to women, and then you can start talking to hotter women, and then you can start hitting on those women, putting your intentions on the line. And it's a gradual process. It can take 2 months for you to end up approaching your first girl and hitting on her. But hey, those 2 months that you're taking those small steps, that's better spent than trying to aim super high and failing, and then telling yourself that you're a piece of shit, and then girls you'll always be alone. So it's a better thing to do to actually take small steps instead of big leaps. I'm gonna put a link down below to Hexaco, which is the most science-backed psychology test. And if you take that and you give between a 4 and a 5 for anxiety, then anxiety is an issue for you. And you don't just want to say, okay, well, I'll just pop a pill. No, you want to attack that from every angle, and ideally naturally. So facing your fears in terms of systematic desensitization, with game, with socializing, you want to start meditating, hitting yoga, taking supplements such as ashwagandha, L-theanine, which I'll put down below as well. Taking supplements to reduce that as well, making sure that every part of your life you are addressing that issue. Because without massive action surrounding that issue and attacking that issue, it'll always be there, and it is something that will just be a problem for you, preventing you from getting results. The good part about facing your fears is that the first time you do something, it'll be like 100% of that fear for doing that first approach. And then by the time you've done it like 1,000 times, that fear will be about 3% of what it was. So the fear will always be there, but it'll greatly be diminished to the point where all it is like tossing yourself in and getting over that small bit of resistance. And a lot of the times when you do game a lot, you actually get approach excitement, so you're actually more addicted to approaching because you've been doing it so frequently, and your brain is in the pattern where it sees a girl and you go, so you kind of get addicted to it, and you're more likely to do it than not to do it. But you can't get to that point without that first step, that first decision to start taking action. No one can do this for you. You have to do it yourself. There's never going to be this perfect moment. You're never going to feel ready. So the truth is that you just have to throw yourself in imperfectly and go for it and embrace whatever kind of shit happens as a result. And usually what happens is never as bad as you actually think it's going to be. So a lot of you guys are taking this way too casually. You're treating it like a hobby, something fun to try out, as opposed to actually treating this seriously, going out consistently, breaking down your nights, learning from your mistakes, meeting up with wings, going out and like actually trying to get better. Most of you guys aren't doing that, and you're not doing enough action to get better. Most of you aren't even going out 2 times per week, which is the minimum to kind of maintain your skill set. In reality, there's no such thing as maintenance. You're either going slightly up or slightly down if you're doing that 2 times a week. And so this brings up the next reason why it's so difficult and why you need to take even more action. And that's that the evolutionary odds are against you. So let me read you something that'll kind of hammer this point home. So an ancestral population of 60 women to 30 men were breeding in Africa before the humans left the continent. So that means that half of men weren't reproducing. The numbers fell to around 25 women and 15 men breeding at the time of the first migration of Homo sapiens around 70,000 years ago. The whole population would have been larger, but the extras were not contributing to the gene pool. As modern humans moved into Europe more than 45,000 years ago, the number of mothers may have outnumbered fathers by around 100 to 30, according to Stone King. So you have a situation where 2/3 of men, more than 2/3, about 70% of men are not reproducing, and 30% of men are reproducing. There's also the biological fact that a man can impregnate around 300 women in the same amount of time that the woman can only have 1 child. So men can impregnate many, women can only have 1 child at a time and can't have multiple men contributing to her. So this puts it so that many men are losers who don't reproduce. And you can see this in examples throughout like your life. So think about who are the main weirdos, who are the main homeless people, who are the main criminals, who are the main incels, for example.
I got hugged by a girl.
They're all men. Who are the people that are becoming transsexuals? It's 95% men. So the situation is that men are more skewed to one side or the other. There's more geniuses, there's more fucking weirdos. So women are more choosy in who they have to reproduce with because of the biological imperative, because of the evolutionary background, and because there's so many fucking weirdos for guys. So that's why you'll have, as a guy, you have to work out, get your charisma on point, get your humor on point, go out a lot, like put in a lot of time, money, effort, energy to getting good with women. You have to cultivate your fashion. You have to have a decent or cool career that brings some kind of meaning to your life. You have to meditate. You have to get your nutrition on point. And as a girl, all you really have to do is be hot. Let's be real. If you're an attractive woman and you try so that you're dressing up, you're putting on makeup, you're maybe hitting the gym, a guy will fuck you. And not only fuck you, but date you and like marry you. Just to get fucked as a woman, you have to be a woman. For every woman out there, there's a man who will fuck her, but not the reverse. For every man out there, there's not a woman who will fuck her. And for men, it's almost a pyramid, so that the top 5% of guys are getting 80% of the women, whereas 100% of women can basically get laid, and get laid consistently. So this also brings up more competition. So if males are competing for that top spot on that pyramid, then competition is a rule of life. Biology is ruthless. It doesn't give a single fuck if you reproduce. A lot of your family doesn't really care that much. So you have to put the incentive on yourself to get this handled. Competition is a fact of life. If you are not improving, if you're not getting better, if you are not like working on all those areas that I mentioned, there's little chance that you're going to get some results with women, let alone exceptional results. When people know that like me, other guys have slept with over 100 women, which is a lot in terms of like the fact that most guys sleep with 8 women in their entire life, and in India they sleep with 3 women in their entire life, you have to go above and beyond. You have to like get to your core. You have to be authentic. You have to step up in every area. Not only step up in every area, but be improving in every area, so that women, when they see you, they think this guy's improving. He's a safe bet to reproduce with, because in the future, is he going to be able to deal with challenges? Is he going to be able to like deal with a fucking threat? Is he going to be able to provide resources for me and my offspring in the future? And if the answer is no, or maybe, they get disgusted. If the answer is yes, they're turned on by the guy, because those criteria, those qualities that he's showing, show that he would be a good person to not only reproduce with, but to bring her resources. If you are not improving, you will be weeded out by evolution. There's no autopilot guarantee that it'll all work out. It won't. The default in the world is entropy. It's one of the laws of the universe. If you, let's say, leave your car outside for 10 years and you come back, you're not going to come back and, oh wow, there's a new exhaust pipe on this car. Oh wow, the new paint job. No, it doesn't work like that. It's going to be rusting. There's going to be plants growing inside of it. Entropy is a law of the universe. So you need to not only be maintaining, because there's no really maintenance, you need to be improving in all areas. Also, the next thing is that there's an instinctual pressure to shame men who are improving themselves. And when you look at any time I've been on a podcast where the host doesn't know about this whole area of self-improvement, self-development game, there's an instinctual pressure to shame men, especially if there's a female host on the show. They'll start making comments like, why aren't they just funny and cool to begin with? Well, not everyone's funny and fucking cool.
I think that the game, the whole thing, it feels very manipulative. From like a female perspective, like
you wear makeup and high heels.
I barely do.
No, but I mean that's women do. Like women are, it's both of us are lying.
Right, but it's on a whole other level because it's going into like your personality, and it's very deceptive. Like it's deceptive, and it's like premeditated, and the whole thing seems very creepy and weird. And all of it is just dating advice. How do I pick up a girl? How do I pick up a girl? And I tell them the same thing you say, girl. Just be funny. And they're like, I don't know how to be funny. Should I buy a joke book?
No one cares about you getting good at game. The evolutionary odds are against you, and then on top of that, people are shaming you and putting pressure on you to not improve. So I hope that sets into your mind how many things are against you and how you need to not only be improving slightly, but be going all out into it, because the reality is it's not that easy for guys. So you got to take responsibility for your own dating life. No one cares or wants to do this for you. So ultimately it's you who has to do it. So the easy road is to complain about how hard men have it and how easy women have it. As one of my friends says, all you have to do as a woman is try, and all of your needs are taken care of. Your apartment's paid for by sugar daddy. You get as much sex as you want. Like all your food, all your expenses are paid for. You get friends. You get like, your whole life is taken care of if you just try and look somewhat decent. But as a man, you have to, hit the gym, exercise, look good, like work on your fashion, work on your grooming, eat nutrient-dense food so that your complexion, your skin looks better, have better energy, meditate, yoga, have a cool career, have good friends, do interesting things, take cool pictures of it, have a good Instagram, have a good social media in general, and then like you have to do all that as a man. But yeah, guess what? You have to get better, not bitter. That's the only way. Like if you don't care to have good results, then you don't need to do that. So you gotta get better, not bitter. That's the only way. If a lot of you guys spent the time that you do complaining, trolling, making excuses, posting bullshit on Facebook, if you spend that time on actually improving yourself and meeting girls and approaching and breaking down your sets and learning from them, you'd actually have the results that you're complaining about that you can't get. So kind of step away from that negativity, adopt a more realistic mindset. You don't have to be super positive and think everything bad that happens is good, but adopt a realistic mindset and know that the actions you take improve your sexual market value, improve the chances of you actually sleeping with a girl. Because if you're going out approaching 10 girls, maybe one of those would like you. Did you think about that? Or do you just approach one girl, she doesn't like you, and you just generalize based on that n=1? So get better, not bitter. And then from a meta level, this experience, this process of game, weeds out the people who can't handle it. If you can't handle it, you're more mentally weak, you couldn't like strategize, think smart, and think, how do I attack these areas in my life effectively? You're not effective, which is it is the most attractive quality of a man. You're not going to the gym, you're not getting more strong, you're not getting more fit, you're not getting more powerful. Like if you don't do those things, it weeds you out. That's the process of evolution, weeding you out. If you give up, what does that show? That you're not persistent. That if any challenges come up, if you were with a girl, like she would be left out to dry. She would be more vulnerable. Her and your offspring with her would be vulnerable. So that's another reason why persistence is so attractive. Because it shows you're not passive, you're not a little bitch. No one wants a little bitch. When you persist for something that you want, number one, it shows her that you actually like her, because you're persisting for her. Number two, it shows that when challenges are presented, when obstacles are presented, you deal with the obstacles. You keep going after what you want. So when you're too passive, it comes off as you being a little bitch. You give up too easily. You didn't really want what you're going after. When you're too aggressive, it comes off as mentally unstable, kind of weird. And then when you're assertive, it's that sweet spot between that demonstrates your confidence and shows that you want what you're going after. Obstacles are presented. You deal with the obstacles. You keep going after what you want. So when you're too passive, it comes off as you being a little bitch. You give up too easily. You didn't really want what you're going after. When you're too aggressive, it comes off as mentally unstable, kind of weird. And then when you're assertive, it's that sweet spot between that demonstrates your confidence and shows that you also have empathy in the way you tactfully deal with other people around you. And now think about this. The average man has 8 sexual partners in his entire life. And those average men are actually trying to some capacity. So that means that for you, if you're starting out, you're not an average guy. You're starting out below average like I was, suicidally depressed for 4 years. I'm starting out below average, but yet I want more results. I want to sleep with over 100 women. Look at how much of that gap you need to bridge. If you're an average guy, you can pretty much get average results if you try. If you're below average guy and you want to get exceptional results, you have to put in more effort and more energy. And nothing in your life can you get results with without time, money, effort, energy. Okay? Nothing. You want to get good at the gym? You want to get like a good physique? You have to invest time. You have to read about things. You have to get a mentor. You have to pay for that coach, or you have to pay for that program, or you have to pay for going to the gym. You have to invest effort. You actually have to move the weight. You have to invest time going there. I'll show you my transformation from start to finish. This is going to be for my product. So you'll see where I was when I was just starting out, about a year in, compared to what I'm at now. So for me, I invested 6 years of my life to get to the point I am right now with my game. I invested $50,000 in programs, courses, books, self-development programs, into getting mentorship, into my own assistance. I had to pay for my own, when I was an assistant, I had to pay for my own stay everywhere I went. So I invested 6 years, $50,000 in my own blood, sweat, and tears. And one of the quotes that people quote me on a lot is, you have to go through the equivalent emotional trauma as a child soldier in Uganda to get good at game. And from where I was, sweat, and tears. And one of the quotes that people quote me on a lot is, you have to go through the equivalent emotional, so I invested 6 years, $50,000 in my own blood, sweat, and tears. And one of the quotes that people quote me on a lot is, you have to go through the equivalent emotional trauma as a child soldier in Uganda to get good at game. And from where I was starting out, that was 100% true. You have to do things that are super uncomfortable for you at every step along the way. So you want to overinvest in yourself. A lot of people think they're gonna waste away their health for 20 years and get it back in 20 minutes. Guess what? You're fucking not. People think that you can just do it all on your own. And guess what? You fucking can't. Okay? This is a form of clinical self-sufficiency narcissism to think that you can just do it all on your own. Okay? I had a mentor for 3 years. I had mentors before my main mentor. I had people I was learning from. I learned from books. I learned from mentors that are already dead, and I read their knowledge in the form of books. And ask yourself this: what is the consequence of overinvesting in yourself? You overinvest in your health. What's the consequence of that? You spend a little bit more. You spend 20% more money, 30% on your health. What's the consequence of overinvesting in your business? You get a bigger business. Like, you get a mentor. You're hitting the gym. You invest in your health. You get really good quality sleep. You invest in reading books. Like, you invest in your own business or your own career. You have an abundance with women. You have cool friends. Like, what is the downside? You're healthy, wealthy, you're happy, you have good relationships, you have an abundance with women, you have cool friends, you have a great mentor that's teaching you everything that you need to know. There's no consequence to overinvesting in yourself. There's only the consequence into underinvesting in yourself. And underinvesting in yourself shows that you don't value your own life. If you don't think that you are worth investing, the student is ready, the teacher, no one's going to just pop out of the woodworks or pop out of the bushes and train you and coach you. And they have that saying, like, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And a lot of you are complaining that this is a difficult process. The game is too difficult. Guess what? You want it to be difficult. Why would you want every other guy to be able to do this? The fact that it's difficult means that there's a barrier to entry, so your competitors have a more difficult time. When you can approach a girl, when you can call her on the phone, when you can send her voice and video messages, when you have the ability and the confidence to lead her through different stages of the interaction and close, that makes you stand out. If no other guy is doing that, or 5% or less of guys are doing that, you stand out. You're one of the few who can. So don't get butthurt that it's difficult. You should be proud. You should be happy. You should be like excited that it's difficult, because that makes you stand out more, and that means that you're gonna get more results than the 95% of other guys who are just like withering and dithering away in average. And the next thing that holds guys back is excuses. So excuses can be, I'm too tired, I don't have the energy, she's gonna reject me, I'm not good enough, I don't have the time. All these you have to recognize are excuses. There's excuses that you're telling yourself. They're not reality. It's not truth. It's literally just an excuse. And the more you notice it's an excuse, and you can step away from that and see it third-party perspective and know that it's bullshit, the more you can start focusing on actually getting results, taking action. When you see these excuses as reality, as what's actually true, it's just going to prevent you from taking action, and then that's just going to reinforce those excuses. I'm too tired, okay, so I'm not going to go out. And the next time you're too tired, you're going to not go out. It just reinforces those same patterns. You're giving more energy to excuses, and those are going to be more relevant in your mind, or you're giving more value to action, and action